You may have observed that there were no pre-announcement of my Sunday talk because I pretty much wanted to take a break from probably doing the program. It is a decision that I have been pondering on, especially in the face of the countless partisan challenges, which is quite a shame when we cannot seem to see things on their merit and we only focus on belting out partisan reasons why people should or should not do certain things. Now, I would be the first to say that I'm also guilty to an extent of that general tendency because no one is without bias. We all have our partisan biases. But I have looked at my work over and over and over again, and I believe, in comparison with others who do similar, that I make the effort to at least try and educate conscientiously. Knowing that my implicit biases will come through, I try harder with the work that I do to be as legit as I can be. But it had been very, very tough. And I had been contemplating, whether I should really continue doing this because this takes time, believe it or not. And it can be agonizing to see the lack of interests that people put in just being informed. And what also does not jive too very well is when people sort of demean your worth and your achievements just for political expediencies. So I was thinking of retreating. But there is a gentleman who randomly sent me a message without knowing that I was even contemplating because I made no notice of that. And I said, but what kind of person is this guy? I would not really read the message now because it's really personal and it means a lot to me. And this is the reason why I kind of reconsidered Sunday Talk. And this is why I'm here today. Because, again, of the insistence of a young man who was able to walk me back over 20 years of my life to remind me of the things that I did and how it impacted him then. And I said, okay, at least there is somebody who understands why I do the stuff that I do, even if some believe that I have my partisan axe to grind. But when I message, I try my best to do it in a way that others will understand that even if I am deemed to be partisan, but I do not go all out to make people who are on the other side of the spectrum look foolish. So I message today, and we'll see how that goes. I won't identify the individual who messaged me, but I must say thanks to angels like these because they really inspire messages and messengers like me to continue. And I would like to pay regard to all the messengers who have paused their duty for now and advise the public to understand when people take certain decisions, when people decide to message, when they decide not to anymore, because this can take a toll on individuals. So that is pretty much the half of my message today. The second half would be the COVID-19, which is a pandemic of catastrophic proportion. It is threatening humanity around the world, Dominica included, and we continue to accept the fact that there are no known tested cases in Dominica. We should not rest on our laurels believing that this is going to continue to be. And even if it continues to be a no known tested case on Ireland, we should go on as if there are cases, because it would just be miraculous, maybe more than that, for Dominica not to be visited with this pandemic. And even if the country does not or is not going to be visited with it, there is more that we can do now. And it reminds me again of China, which is an authoritarian sort of run government. And in cases like this, authoritarianism is good, because the government says don't do it, you don't do it. You stay in, you stay in. And that is good. It's not always good, but in that case, it is good. I'm not saying that in other countries' cases, people should become authoritarian or authoritarian in terms of their approach. But what I'm saying is that people should not let governments get to that stage. If you know congregating and doing certain things will end up in you endangering your health and that of others, don't do it. I mean, I have been quarantined. Well, not quarantined. I have been in for the past almost 3 weeks, because the state felt it's best that we teach from home, do schooling from home, and stay at home until this matter is dealt with. But I'm not too sure that we quite understand how serious this pandemic is in Dominica as yet. I'm seeing certain activities and I'm hearing certain discussions on the media which cause me to think that we don't quite understand it. I mean, just yesterday we had 860 something deaths alone in one area in Italy. This is significant. And I'm seeing so many careless activities on the island that I sometimes wonder whether we know what is coming, or whether we're adequately prepared for it, or whether we even believe it. This thing is serious, people. Let's do something about it. And it cannot be government to protect us. It must be us. But the government must lead the protection charge. And have they been leading? I do not know. People say whenever I say government, I am political. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just trying to be as safe and as general as I can be. But the fact is, the onus is on every Dominican to protect ourselves and to safeguard our communities and our families. This is my Sunday Talk. Until next Sunday.